What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I am your host, Nolan Skeen, alongside Antonio Fiore, Sal Lestrina. Gentlemen,
what's going on, guys?
Good evening.
What if one day I just opened up the podcast with Antonio Lestrina and Sal Fiore?
It would be a big, not good.
Sal Fiore, that
a big
basically
yike.
be saying my name. That is my middle name.
That's your grandpa's name.
That is my grandpa's name.
Oh, I didn't know that was your middle name. I knew that was your grandpa's name. All right. So we're gonna talk about, a little NBA tonight, a little trade deadline stuff, some XFL stuff, the Mookie Betts trade, which we talked about in last week's podcast,
which kind of almost
Some
didn't
stuff
happen.
happened.
kind of almost didn't happen. So we'll get into all of that, give you our thoughts, and you know what? At the end, let's give our pick of the week that we think is
All right.
a solid pick for our gambling. We'll call it our gambling corner.
I'm down.
All right. So where do we want to start?
Iguodala?
Iguodala in the NBA thing?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of petty NBA drama, which is what the NBA is known
that's what
for.
happens in the NBA.
So I know he had gotten traded to the Grizzlies, right?
Yep, and
then he hadn't played at all, right?
He said he was not playing for that team. He said he wanted to play for a real team that would contend for a title, basically.
the players have come out in the past week, had their own opinions on the whole situation.
And Ja Morant was not happy about it.
Dylan Brooks also.
Yeah,
another-
Dylan Brooks was
Brooks,
saying
yeah.
that he can't wait for him to be off the team, right?
Yeah, literally. He said, I can't wait to play him for wherever, wherever he gets
that's
traded.
what he said.
I mean, I kind of get where Iguodala is coming from, though. He's getting a bit older. He's been there, done that.
The crazy thing is,
He could
though,
still have a role on a good team, though.
No, the crazy thing is, if he's going to do that, why is he getting paid to sit at home and play golf by the Grizzlies?
That's up to the Grizzlies head office. I don't know why.
I'm just saying, if you're getting paid to be in the NBA and play,
I don't think Andre Iguodala is a golf guy.
whatever he could be, or
Maybe, you never really know.
I know
probably
he's-
bowls.
I know he's into oh, you know what?
I
could see that
I could
over
see him being a
golf.
bowler.
I could see that over golf.
Some guys you just look at and you can tell.
That they bowl.
Like Chris Paul, that's a bowling guy. Curry, that's a golfer.
Curry's a golfer.
Wait,
Curry's
no.
a golfer all the way.
You know who's a golfer?
Chris Paul's a bowling guy.
Tony Romo's a golfer.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Tony-
he's been on the US, the PGA tour.
yeah,
hasn't he? Or he's tried for it.
he's tried for it. I think he's probably made the cut once or twice. Honestly,
He's probably played in some pro-ams too.
yeah. I don't know. You just look at him on whatever station. He just got that
Yep.
that golfer. I don't even know the bravado. I
feel like
guess
any old white guy could be a golfer.
Phil Simms. Phil Simms
Oh,
could golf.
wow. Him and
Oh.
Boomer Esiason play literally every single day.
Wow, dude.
You know who doesn't golf?
Who?
Bill Tower. Bill Tower hates golf. That's just too much for Bill Tower. Bill Tower I don't even know. He watches birds. That's what Bill Tower does.
T.O. is a big-time bowler.
I would not guess that one.
Really?
T.O.?
He loves that shit.
Dude, Ocho Cinco is so funny. You see him on Twitter?
No. Oh, wait, no. He replied to someone. Someone said something about Ocho Cinco, and he subtweeted or something. I don't remember it, but it was pretty funny.
I don't know. He just goes off all the time. He literally plays kids in FIFA for $100.
Oh yeah. Did you see his Barstool interview from a couple years ago?
No.
Where he was in his robe and he's showing
Oh, was it with some girl?
yeah, and she
She was loving it.
oh
she was loving every
thirst
session.
trapping and she did one with Tyler Sagan and she was thirst trapping him the whole time. And the one with Ocho Cinco, he talked about how he only eats McDonald's,
Only plays FIFA.
and how he literally just sits in his bed all day and watches movies and just has sex. That's what he says he does. He says he doesn't do anything else. And now he's wrapped up in the whole Barstool thing. He's doesn't he work for them?
I don't think so.
At the Caesars Sportsbook, he is there all the time.
Really?
And I always see him on their page and everything.
That's hilarious.
So he might have some involvement with Barstool, but I thought that interview is so funny. It's from a long time
Ocho
ago.
Cinco was always a character. There was never
Oh, no
a
doubt.
great interview.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a little off track from Andre Iguodala, but he doesn't look like a golfer. We'll just go with that. So then he gets traded to the Heat.
Who great pickup for them. They got
Great
him
pickup
and-
for them. Then
I think he fits there.
Him
they're a
and Crowder.
contender. They're a contender in the East right now.
They're a big contender in the East right now, especially if they can hold on to a 2 or really a 2. If you can get home court until you'd probably have to play Milwaukee, that is.
Which I don't think they have a shot to get by Milwaukee, but They're still a very good team. They could win a few playoff series and get to a conference championship if Milwaukee's not in your way and you have that kind of seeding.
Realistic question: How many teams in the East can beat Milwaukee in a 7-game series?
Celtics maybe, and that's
I think
really all I got.
The Celtics right now.
I'm a Celtics fan.
That really is
all
I got.
I just feel like that's a bad matchup. I really do. Like I saw it last year, and
what other team do you think could beat them in a
Philly?
Philly?
I don't think so.
I know that sounds crazy, but
is it just because the whole Embiid and Giannis thing?
It's the whole they have 4 or 5 guys to throw at Giannis who are the same size, and I'm not saying anyone can slow down Giannis, but if there's a team that can put up multiple defenders, make a wall, not let it easy for him, if he's not hitting his 3-pointers or his mid-range shots, it's going to be hard for them to consistently put up buckets in the half court. Those are going to be like 80 to like 78 scoring games. Like it's going to be very low scoring in those games.
My thing with Philly, though, is
they can't win on the road.
I'd say they've underachieved just a little bit so far this year. They still haven't reached that point that everyone's expecting them to get to. But that's the
thing, though.
But
if they start peaking in the playoffs...
Yeah, but they're only in this position now to make the playoffs because they're they have so many guys. They're so talented. Without that, they're nowhere near this position because I think they're horribly run. And I don't like the makeup of the team anyway.
I don't either. I can't say that I do.
They do match up well with Milwaukee.
But
you're right.
The matchup for Milwaukee is
them.
definitely not the best.
No.
When it comes to teams,
and that's
the
one team that I think they don't want to play.
Milwaukee does not want to play Philly.
I'm so confident in them beating in Philly.
Oh yeah,
Philly
I
can
think
give
it
them
would be a very good
6-game fight.
I think it would be a very good series.
I think Boston would be 6. I think it would go 6 for Boston. I think that's probably where it ends. I don't think they'd take them to 7. And I think even if they got to 7, Giannis is the best player on the court by far. That's no disrespect to Tatum or Brown or anyone on the Celtics, but he would just be better. He would put up 40 or 45.
Why does everyone forget about Kemba?
And again, I still think the Celtics would have a shot to beat them. It's just if I'm picking a winner in that series, I'm going to take the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks every time. Yeah,
you're kind of dumb to take the Celtics. The Bucks are way too good.
They've just shown it all year.
They're 41-7 right now, or something like that.
41-8. They lost tonight.
So they did lose
to Indiana.
They lost today.
Yep. But they had no Giannis, no Korver, no George Hill. And it was in Indiana.
That'll do it.
Lost on the road.
That's a hard game.
Yeah, Indiana's no easy out at all, especially with Oladipo back.
Indiana's been playing.
You know what? Yeah,
too.
That's another team that's kind of involved there in the East, especially with Oladipo back now.
Where did Nate McMillan coach before Indiana?
Oh, I don't know.
He coached somewhere,
came out of nowhere,
and they were terrible. And then he coaches Indiana now, and they make the playoffs every year. He just got good somehow.
He doesn't have a shabby group of players either.
But 2 years
Brogdon's
ago,
good.
2 years ago when Oladipo was first starting out, they still made the playoffs.
Oh yeah, well that was kind of Oladipo's finally year.
Yeah,
because he always had the hype around him in on Orlando, and then it seemed like they got tired of him, shipped him away to OKC. Didn't really do much there, but you were also playing besides Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get to the Pacers, and he breaks out, which was awesome. That was really cool to see. And they have a lot of good guys on the team. They're definitely in the mix for the East. I think they could win a playoff series or two, but again, it's just
they're not making all.
They don't match up well at all with the Bucks. With
not
their
too many
full
teams
roster,
do, but yeah, they don't match up well with them.
But I don't think they'd be able to get by the Celtics. I don't trust them to get by maybe even the Raptors. And then
I think the Heat would not want to play them.
That's why I didn't say the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good matchup for the Pacers. That could be a potential 4-5 matchup.
And speaking of NBA drama, we had T.J. Warren versus Jimmy Butler earlier in the year, where they both got thrown out of the game. And
oh yeah,
Jimmy said, "Mark your calendars for the next game," and we still haven't had that game yet. I think it's March 13th, but I'm not 100%
so still a long way out.
Still, yeah, a couple of weeks.
A little under a month.
A month, yeah.
So what other trades were there? I haven't been
They
paying
traded
attention.
literally 2 pennies for Andre Drummond, the Cavs.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
2 very dusty pennies.
Who?
The Cavs traded for Andre Drummond.
But who?
I don't even know.
It was no third round draft picks or just some bench players.
Seemed kind of pointless for Detroit. I mean, you're not really going anywhere with Drummond. You haven't been going anywhere with Drummond, but what'd you get out of that?
Cap relief.
What was the point?
Actually, I really don't know. There really is no point, honestly. I mean, if he opts in next year, then
they're just we've had him for a while. Let's get rid of him.
Detroit's a weird team.
I don't know what
it seems like they just don't want to win.
I really don't know what they've been doing up there for the past
Why would you
6 years?
Why would
And
you
now
trade
they
for Blake Griffin? What was that all about?
I don't know what that was about either.
Like Blake Griffin was obviously on his way down the mountain.
And also, I don't want to see him play in Detroit.
No.
I'd rather see him
Nobody
somewhere
wants
fun.
to see him in a Pistons jersey. No one wanted to see that.
And you know what? Now, if you put him on a pretty good team, he'll definitely have a role there because
But
he'll
who
have
is
a
trading for
supporting
Blake Griffin
cast
at
around
this
him.
point?
Yeah, nobody's trading. For
No one's
Blake
trading
Griffin.
for him,
I
but
think he has
I
3 or 4 years left on his multi like 40
That's
$50 million
crazy,
year.
dude. He's raping the Pistons.
But once he's done with that contract, he's going to go to a team that's loaded, either come off the bench or be like a third or fourth option as like your starter, and he'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a team where Blake Griffin is coming off the bench, like, you're in pretty good shape.
I mean, yeah, if he gets to that point in his career, I don't see it being too far away considering he gets injured every year.
It's just like how, like, a team like, per se, like, a team that's interesting right now, the Trailblazers, who have Carmelo coming off the
they're
bench.
so up and down.
And it's like you have Carmelo coming off the bench, and it's like that can be like your number one guy to lead the younger guys off the bench.
Their problem is they have the scoring. They play the worst defense. Like,
Oh yeah,
it is
sure.
a highway to the basket, and Hassan
There's-
Whiteside does nothing.
Yeah, they're small too. Like, I mean, Whiteside is he like their one big guy?
I mean, Nurkic when he comes back,
But like,
Still, what you got Hassan Whiteside for, and he's not protecting the rim the way you expected him to.
he's never lived up to any of the hype that he had, so I'm not surprised about it.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
he had that like one good month in like 2015, right?
I mean,
With his 2K rating.
He's kinda-
they
interview
were
and all
high
that.
of him coming out of college
They-
too.
Oh, he's had his moments, no doubt.
he's
Just
what
the consistency.
he's what Bam Adebayo is doing right now. Like what the Heat thought they were getting out of him was what they're getting out of Bam currently. And like he just never lived up to that. He just kind of like plays defense once a month, rebounds like 10 times a game, scores like 4 points. It's like, what are you doing out there? You're just
Yeah,
kind of like
and plays 20 plus minutes.
He's not a flexible offensive player at all either.
you throw it to him in the post and it's just ugly.
Yeah, no, he can't produce anything on offense. And if he's not producing anything on offense, you know he's not producing anything on defense.
That's
Why
why you
the
see him
fuck
getting
are you
triple
even on
doubles
the
of
floor?
blocks all the time.
No.
Like back on the Heat, you'd see a stat line. Oh, here's Hassan Whiteside, 15 rebounds.
But the problem with that too is
10 assists and like 10 blocks.
the problem with that
6
too
points.
is you're going for like blocks that much. You're kind of giving up like soft layups at the
Yeah.
rim. So he's not even a good defensive player at all. Like that team, I could see them trading CJ this offseason. And I could I don't know if I could see them trading Damian, but if Damian wants out, then they would definitely trade him.
I mean, I don't think he wants out. Didn't he like
He said he wants to be there.
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah.
doubt Damian, but like at the same time, you're really just wasting your career there. And I know we all want to see the star player stay, and I get that. But at the same time, like, how good would it be for Damian Lillard?
I mean, if that's the way the NBA is going to operate, is like all these star players.
all right. So how is it fair for Damian to stay, but all these other guys are like, hey, buddy, like, let's team up.
Yeah, and then you got fucking LeBron and AD going to Lakers, and then they're like,
But it's not even only that. It's like, all right, you have Dwight Howard coming off the bench, you have Avery Bradley, you have Rajon Rondo, you have all these.
yeah,
Well,
no,
that's
the Lakers
that's
are in
exactly
a
what the
whole
Blazers are
nother-
missing. They have a very good roster, and they've been winning
But
the
it's
past 2
tough,
years.
though,
Honestly,
this
do
year
they
they've
have a
sucked,
really
and
good
they're
ro-
outside.
They don't even have a good roster. They have Damian and they have CJ.
Yeah,
And
they have a
after
good
that-
starting lineup, and then
They only like look
After that, it's like
appealing
nothing.
right now because Damian is scoring so many points.
oh yeah, he scores 48 a night. It's ridiculous.
ridiculous.
And like they can easily squeak out a win if Damian's scoring 48, 50 a night.
But you
if
can't count on that.
I mean, you can't just consistently think that he's going to score that many points. Eventually, he's like this like scoring thing is going to end, but it's like
they're gonna have an interesting offseason for sure because I don't know what kind of direction they're really going in.
and I get like if he wants to take a stand and be like, "No, I'm staying here, like I'm being loyal to my team." That's fine, but you can't expect other players to follow that. Like
Correct.
because that's just not where the game is trending right now.
If McCollum ends up on the block, that'll be very interesting.
Who? What?
Milwaukee.
No. Well, yes.
Nah.
Yes, they would want him. Philly would be a good option for
That'd be a
him.
really good fit.
But like, I don't know.
I don't want to see him go there, but great fit.
I don't know what you're trading. I don't know what Philly's trading to them. That would appeal to them. Al Horford and Tobias Harris. Like that's disgusting.
What about the Raptors?
Yeah, see now we're talking. They got a lot of players in that team. A lot of very good players.
Their only problem is all of their good players are like coming off the books this year. Gasol's a free agent. Ibaka, I think, is a free agent. Lowry's a free agent, and Van Vliet also might be a free agent. So like they have a lot of decisions to make.
Lowry for CJ? I could see that happening.
Why would the Trailblazers want both of them though? Damian and Kyle. That's just like the same thing, but like Kyle's older than CJ.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
There wouldn't really be.
Toronto definitely would.
I feel like Dame wouldn't want to play with Kyle Lowry either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kyle Lowry's like good if you have like no other ball handler, but if like there's a main ball handler,
what's the point?
He can spot he can spot up, but like I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh, like CJ would be a good asset for Toronto. I just again like you're not giving up Siakam. Most of your good players are gone. Like you give up draft picks, but at the same time, like.
But I would want to keep Siakam if I was Toronto, because then you have CJ and Siakam, and then you can. I mean, if you were to keep Lowry, that would take some of the pressure off Lowry. But I don't see how you can keep all that and get.
Would a CJ for Kevin Love deal make any sense? But like that's. I mean, like obviously Cleveland would have to throw in a pick or something.
Yeah, and you're bringing your second option for a Trailblazer. You're moving it down.
And Kevin Love has already expressed that he does not want to stay in.
He hates that team.
Cleveland.
Oh yeah, I want to see him go too. It's not cool to see him rot there.
He's kind of pulling an Andre Iguodala himself.
At least he's playing.
Good for him then.
Yeah, the only difference is he's playing. But like,
I'd love to see him get out of there and play somewhere else. I feel horrible for him.
But then what if like, here's the other part that I get on why Andre Iguodala didn't want to play. What if you get like really hurt? Like, what if you like something happens? Then it's like you don't want to play for that team and you like risk your career.
Yep.
By playing for that team.
I definitely did it. It's still at the same time pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But they're NBA players, so they can do what they want. I'm not going to...
They're divas. It's an individual league.
It's all built around the star player.
Yep.
It's the whole league.
That's why we were like, oh, basketball's a team sport. It's like, no, it's
star-driven
really
league.
No, it's really
nothing
not.
short of that.
I'm trying to think of other trades that happened. We had the Iguodala one, like we said. We had Drummond. We had Andrew Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, yeah. I love that fit for the Warriors.
I forgot about that. D'Angelo Russell got, like, disrespected by Steve Kerr.
Mm-hmm. For dry snitching one time.
Huh?
Just for dry snitching one time.
That's what I said. I was like, bro, he dry snitched one time on the Lakers, and he's just been disrespected ever since. They threw him out at Brooklyn. He gets to the Warriors. He's like, oh, wow, finally, I have like a good home here. And the Warriors like, nope.
Nah.
Bye.
Him and Steph Curry thing was always gonna be weird to begin with.
That was just a bad fit. Like they only did it just so they didn't lose like an asset.
Steve Kerr was right when what he said, but it was like,
damn, you don't have to say that.
Why'd you have to say it like that though? Like, almost like he was like salty about it.
When that D'Angelo like snitching thing came out, that was so annoying. Yeah. I hated seeing that. Like he would have a good night, and ESPN would be like, D'Angelo, scores 30 and has 7 assists for the Lakers. Good night for the rookie. Then you look in the comments, and it's like, snitch, fucking snitch, fuck you. And it's like, come on, dude. Do you really care that much?
Him getting out of LA, like
that was the best thing to happen for him.
But in Brooklyn, they kind of they're like, ooh, Kyrie.
I don't know. He was really good with Brooklyn last year.
Why are you getting so much hate for like?
They were like, ooh, Kyrie, KD.
Why do you get so much hate for saying like someone's cheating on their wife?
I think.
Why do you get destroyed by everyone?
The way that it happened? It was like, wow, he really just like snitched.
Yeah,
yeah. Putting it on the internet, obviously, I can agree with that. That's not a good choice.
That's a personal thing. You should not, deal with that like on the internet. But like,
it was still annoying to see like every 5 seconds, and all everyone was talking about was this D'Angelo.
That's supposed to be your teammate too, and like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
destroyed that relationship.
Yeah, no, I get that he totally did a wrong thing, but it's just funny to me that ever since that point in time, he's just been disrespected. Like, he did not deserve the disrespect from Steve Kerr. Like, it could have just been a trade, whatever. You say, oh, like, we're happy of, we made this move. It just, didn't work out the way we wanted to. Fine, whatever. The way that Steve Kerr, like, went about it was, like, cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, wow.
How do we think of the fit?
With the Timberwolves end, they obviously got an all-star. Is it going to improve them? Probably not, because they're the Timberwolves, and they've had this kind of talent the past 3 or 4 years at this point, and the team just does absolutely nothing with it. So I don't expect much on their end. When it comes to the Warriors, I like the fit with Wiggins.
Serious question: is Karl Anthony Towns bad? Not like bad.
I mean,
like, is he overrated?
He's not bad. There's quite a
think-
few centers I'd rather have besides him, but he's up there. When
coming
it comes
off that
to most
hype
talented
that he
in the league.
had coming out, I think that looking at it now, it's like, yeah, he was overrated.
Or he doesn't play defense.
That's the thing. I remember the draft. The two.
I feel like he never really scores that much.
The two
either.
big men in the
He'll have
draft.
games where he scores like 31, and then he has games where he scores like 18. You're
Yeah,
like,
he's very inconsistent.
Well, with the defense thing, this is the thing that boggles me. In the draft, he had the two big men. That was Jahlil Okafor and Towns in the same draft. And Okafor was seen as the guy that's going to score for you, but you're not getting much with the defensive end. And everyone was seeing Towns as, oh yeah, you're getting a hell of a good defender, but your offense is going to be eh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been kind of opposite of that. He's put up some really good offensive numbers at points in his career, and then everyone looks at him and says, yeah, but what are you doing on defense?
That's just a disappointing franchise in general. Like,
Yeah.
The moves they made this.
The players are as weird as the team.
Well, another trade they made was the Covington trade too, and they got back a couple of good role players like Malik Beasley is like, I don't know, he's been up and down with Denver, but putting him in a situation where he's going to get consistent minutes, that's going to be better for his career.
Yep.
You got Hernan Gomez, and I think they got one other player from a different team who just will be like a rotation player, but it's at least good to have like solid NBA players as opposed to like rookies that you throw out there literally every year that do nothing.
I agree. So is that it for NBA? Is that what we're... Anything else?
I don't think there were any other trades that were notable, at least.
What about the whole Embiid thing where he got booed the other night?
He did get booed the other night.
And
I
then,
don't know.
like,
If I'm Philly, I'd rather have him than Simmons.
He
We
scored,
had this conversation
he scored a big
before.
basket, and they quickly switched their energy and started cheering for him again.
Mhm.
I was like, this whole fan base is so confusing.
I know. I don't know. They love... They're very hot and cold, but they love to boo, and then they love to like wrap their arms around their best players.
They love any chance they get to talk shit about their own team. They're there. They're worse than Boston fans.
That's
I feel
Philly.
like. Bless you.
Thank you.
They're worse than Boston fans for sure.
It's the Philly way.
Bless you.
God bless.
That's my limit. No more.
Okay. Then don't sneeze
Does it
anymore,
again.
bitch. Yeah. So like, I didn't understand because obviously I don't really follow NBA, but like, why were they booing him? Is it because he said he wanted to get traded or something?
He made a post on Instagram basically saying like, you're either the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And then Jimmy Butler commented, I know where villains are welcome.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I did see that. I didn't know that's why they were booing him.
That's
They
funny.
booed him for that?
Yeah, because, then he said like, he basically was like, I don't know what he said word for word, but it was like, oh yeah, can't wait to see you there or something along the lines
Oh,
of that.
so they're making plans.
They might be like a little...
It was like last season when like Katie and Kyrie were like whispering to each other and everyone was
at
like,
the All-Star
oh.
game, yep.
So what,
how
you
that-
think it's like that?
But like Joel, I think Joel has a couple years left, so it's like, what is he gonna do? Just request a trade? And like, who's Miami's? Miami actually could make a good deal for him, but at the same time, like, do you really want him if you're Miami? Like, why not just keep Adebayo at that point and like keep building
Oh, yeah,
around?
you have a pretty talented center at this point.
Because you would have
If you want him that bad, you can wait it out. But
yeah, and then you'd have to trade,
your option now,
Tyler
obviously.
Hero, Kendrick Nunn, Bam Adebayo.
I
or
love
something like
Tyler
that.
Hero.
That team is fun, dude.
You have a fine option.
He's what
at
Grayson
center
Allen
right now.
wanted to be.
That's a great point.
Like he's just
Grayson Allen is such a little like
he's
just a
like
little
Tyler.
wiener.
He's Tyler.
He's such a little wiener, dude.
Grayson Allen is Tyler Hero, or Tyler Hero is Grayson Allen minus the whole like petty shit, like the
Yeah,
the just boisterous
Tyler
attitude.
Hero is just better, like 100% better Grayson Allen. That's all it is. Like
Yeah, he is all about basketball. He's passionate about basketball. He gets to work.
like in college, though, sometimes I felt bad for Grayson Allen. Like obviously the shit that he was
Oh,
doing
no, I
was
didn't,
dirty,
ever.
but then like he would start crying on the bench about it. It's like he
I
obviously
don't feel bad.
it's like
for him.
obviously he's got like issues or something like that, but he hasn't done any. I think maybe there was one circumstance in the NBA.
No, I think there was two actually.
What was the other one?
I think he either like slapped someone or he did something. But
I remember that.
I think there was two of them. I'll look after the podcast.
Where's he playing now? Some G League or
Memphis.
Memphis, yeah.
He's
he,
in
he
Memphis.
was with the Jazz, and then he got traded.
Was
in
he
the
just
offseason.
he's just coming
Rides
off
the
the
pie.
bench? Or oh man, far fall for Grayson Allen.
Hey, better to be in the lead than in
playing
China.
all those years at Duke. And
Wasn't a
just,
very hyped
I mean, he balled out
NBA
at
prospect
Duke.
to begin with.
Yeah, he
He won
balled
the
out at.
lottery.
Did he really?
I think so.
I mean, he wasn't like seen as one of the guys. You can go in the lottery and not be expected to be a star.
I guess, but like if you're a lottery pick, you should
He
be
didn't-
like a role player. at
Yeah, but
least.
he didn't have like hype around him.
I think just everyone kind of like it was almost kind of like a Jimmer Fredette thing. Like everyone knows that he like peaked in college,
Yeah.
and even like in high school, he was an animal in high school. I don't know if you've ever seen his like
Yep.
senior mixtape or whatever. Wow, he was an animal.
Some people are really good in high school. Like,
Tyler
just-
Hero was one of them.
Yeah, like some people just ball out in high school.
Oh man, dude. And like you see some of those players and you see them balling out in high school and you're like, wow, like most of these kids won't make it to the NBA, but
Mhm.
they're balling. And I thought Tyler Hero would be one of them, but he ended up, making a name for himself
Definitely.
at Kentucky. He balled out at Kentucky too.
If all of Kentucky's players just stayed for a couple of years, like they would have the most dominant NCAA
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy they don't do that though.
Imagine if they did though.
I probably wouldn't watch college basketball because I hate that team so much. I like Kentucky players when they go to the NBA.
I like how he just picks and chooses these teams. Like he's like, oh,
Well, like
hate
I
that
don't
team.
know how it happens. Like
Well,
it's just
he's
me.
an Auburn fan.
just
so,
me.
Like, obviously, he hates.
I know. I
Kentucky.
don't consider myself an Auburn fan. I root for certain teams when it comes to college sports.
And Auburn would be one.
Yeah,
of them.
Auburn's one
So
of
in
them. I don't have a
basketball, your
reason.
team-
I don't
in
have a
basketball,
reason.
your team's Auburn.
No,
Yes.
I obviously root for
Yes.
UConn.
Your
But,
team.
yeah, no, but I root for Auburn.
I mean, but UConn's irrelevant the past 2 years. So
I also root for Florida when it comes to college sports. I root for a lot of teams. I don't
So what
have.
about college
I'm not a fan of a
college
specific
football.
one.
Is it Auburn or is it Clemson?
No, I like college football.
Oh,
I
okay.
like Auburn. I like Clemson. I like
So in the
Georgia.
NFL, who are you
I like
a fan
Florida.
of?
I'm a Giants fan.
And a Bills fan.
No, I'm not a Bills fan.
You
I
just
like
like
the,
the Bills.
I like the Bills, and I root for them when they're not playing the Giants. A sister team. Have you?
The only New York team.
Is that
Yes,
a
that's
thing?
right.
What?
A sister team?
No.
Well, like I don't
it's
care
not
if
a
it's
sister
thing.
team. They're not in the same state.
I think everyone.
No. Like, can you have like a team that you just like?
Oh no, what he's talking about is total bullshit. You can't have
No. I don't like. I'm just. Do you not have other teams that like you kind of just root for that
No,
you've always
No,
liked?
I get what you're saying.
Like,
I'm busting your balls, but
I've
yeah,
always
I
had
do.
a soft
no, do you
spot
have, like,
for the
one-
Packers. I've always had a
Like
soft
the Golden
spot.
Knights. The Golden Knights is one for me.
Yeah.
Just 'cause
That's like your
I'm
hockey
rooted
version
in
of the
Vegas,
Bills.
and like I liked when they came out and just absolutely just shit on everybody.
I mean, I never thought about it like a sister team, but if like,
No, I mean
there's-
when it comes to if the Bruins play the Knights, fuck
Absolutely.
the Knights. It's just I like to see them succeed, and they're in a whole different conference than the Bruins. So
See,
it's,
college sports, it's weird for me. Like if Florida and Auburn were to play each other, and they did earlier this year, I really didn't care who won the game. Like I wanted a good game, and I was happy for whoever won, and it sucked for whoever lost. But it's because I got into college football so much later than everything else, so I didn't really have, like a team.
yeah, I would say that's the only like sister team that I root for. Other than like that, like it's just Red Sox and Patriots for me, and yeah, I don't really have a specific football team. I don't have a specific basketball team for college. I just follow whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of like the sport.
so
Exactly. For basketball, we're all from Connecticut. UConn's going to be the first
Oh,
team
yeah,
you root for
UConn,
in the
but, I
tournament.
mean,
Yeah.
in
But
the
there's
if they're not in the
other teams that I
tournament.
like, and there's teams that I'm going to root against no matter what, like Kentucky.
And I mean, we can't really root for UConn football.
well, they're again like we said last
Yeah,
week, they're
who
probably
cares?
disbanding the program. So that's
If
not,
they do disband the program, honestly, like they're better off. They're better off.
for UConn.
Save money, pour more money into that basketball program.
Yeah,
Get
and
your-
I mean the coaches
your
for the UConn football
recruiting
team are
back.
one of the highest paid employees of the state. So it's like you're
That's
saving
crazy.
a lot of payroll there if you disband whatever. We're getting into politics now, but what were we talking about?
It was starting with Kentucky and their players, and then I talked
and then I
about
was
how I
talking
hate
about
Kentucky.
how you're an Auburn fan.
Oh, okay.
Good tangent.
So we were just still talking about basketball. We were talking about this. We talked about the Wiggins and Russell trade, right?
We did so far down
and
the
we
rabbit
got
hole.
so far off from that. Then we started talking about Anthony Towns. And
Yeah,
then, I
well,
don't
Sal
know.
mentioned something about Kentucky, and like imagine if those players stayed there and didn't just do a one and done every year.
Yeah, and they would have like their own
Which,
little
thank God, they
dynasty,
don't.
kind of like what Duke has. But
The thing I really want to talk about, and I wanted to get Antonio's opinion on, is the Renicky hire. Do you have any thought,
the
opinion?
Renicky hire for the Red Sox, the interim manager.
Do
And
you
it
think
has
this
the
is,
interim tag because they're still under investigation now.
what do you think this is going to be after this year too? Do you have any thought?
I don't know. He's got a pretty good reputation in the baseball world. He's been around. I think it's a pretty good hire for the Red Sox. I don't have too strong of an opinion on it. Like I said, I can't really tell you if it's a guy that they're going to stick with after this year. They have a good year, which really the way
That's basically the question. Do you think
Yeah.
he's going to manage them to have a good year?
But I've been hearing some Red Sox fans talk about them being a basement dweller. They very well could be, but they have the potential to be a wild card contender. They still have a very good lineup.
their
Their
problem,
bullpen sucks,
their problem
and their
is
pitching is just.
I was going to
in
say,
general.
tell me their starting pitchers this year. You need
And Boston fans just have short-term memories in general. So all they
Yeah.
remember is last season, how disappointing it was.
Yeah, which Chris Sale, maybe he returns to form, maybe not. It's kind of a wild.
the
And then they're like,
problem.
oh, well, if you take Mookie Betts out of the equation, then it's just downhill from there. But that's just the way they think.
Still got a damn good lineup though.
The issue is all right, you need Chris Sale to throw 200 innings, and you probably need Nathan Eovaldi to throw 200 innings. So at that point, you have two.
You would need him to have a good year, but
You need
baseball's crazy.
when you need them to have a good year, then they do. But then you'll have everything tried to get put together, and then it just doesn't happen. I don't know. Baseball is kind of crazy like that. You need Sale to. He doesn't even have to return to form, but those pitchers really just
Yeah,
need
come close to it.
Yeah,
When he was at his best for the Red Sox. If you're close to that, that's still a damn good pitcher.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that
So we should talk about the Mookie Betts trade then, because it did change since the last time we talked about it.
they got Jeter.
It almost didn't go through at first because they were talking about the
Pitcher from the Twins.
the pitcher from the Twins. What was his name?
Not Verdugo.
Not Verdugo. I think it started with a G or something. It was some weird name, and they talked about how he maybe wasn't healthy. Didn't he had Tommy John surgery, correct?
He had a shoulder problem.
And he had a shoulder problem. So they kind of got finicky with that, and they were going to pull out of the deal. And then they did pull out of the deal, and then MLB officials were like, you need to figure this out. So then it just ended up being the Dodgers and the Red Sox trading straight up Verdugo. And
The Twins were still involved. Angels were.
But they separated. So it was the Dodgers had a
Yeah.
separate deal with the Twins, and then the Red Sox had a separate deal with the Dodgers. So they get Verdugo and then Jeter Downs for Price and Mookie Betts. And
then Maeda went to the Twins, I'm pretty sure.
And Maeda went to the Twins for whoever the Twins sent to the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers don't give up Peterson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they kept part of their...
Remember that trade didn't go through? Because it was the
Who's
four-way
their
team.
outfield? Bellinger?
It'll be Bellinger,
Mookie.
Betts, and Peterson.
Who's their other outfielders last year? Why can't I think of that?
Zanji Ethier still there?
No.
No, he was in the Nationals, huh? Right?
Jeez, who was their outfield last year? This is gonna stump me.
Look it up.
When you say it, we're gonna be like, oh.
So anyway, I know a lot of Red Sox fans were like, the deal was a little bit better, but at the end of
AJ Pollock. Ew.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we still
Solid
lose
player.
Mookie Betts. So, I mean,
He's disgusting, dude.
Remember him that one year on the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, remember when he stood for half a season and hit 30 home runs? Whoop-de-doo. MLB players love that for 1 year. They put it together.
that's how they get the bag, though.
Yo,
that one
it's
year.
always in a contract
I mean,
year, too.
he got the big
Yeah,
bag
it's when
from
you
the
need
big
to
market
step
team.
up.
And then they do it, though. That's so...
That's when they're juicing up.
He's been a nice
fuck,
player
it's a
for
contract
a while.
year. I need to juice up. I need to play good, just to get that bag, dude. Imagine.
Oh yeah, how long is
Imagine
his
if
deal?
Mookie Betts though gets that $400 million.
Pollock, because he probably got a big contract because again it was a contract year that he had.
So what did where
had
did
his
they
best
send
season.
him then?
They're
I don't know.
probably just
Maybe they're still
keep
gonna.
him.
Maybe they'll still try and trade Peterson. Who knows?
A 5-year, $60 million deal. That's disgusting.
For Pollock?
Yeah. He's 32.
So is there anything left on that?
Yeah, he's got 4 years left.
So that was last year that he got that
He's
deal?
not this year. He's not next year, and he's not 2022, and then it looks like an option for 2023. So yeah,
So he's sticking around.
he's around,
and he's just getting paid.
Mm-hmm. I
So
mean, it's not
what-
like he's bad, but he's not.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Was he just gonna be on
It's just gonna be a platoon of.
Is he
him
gonna
and
go down to
Peterson.
the fucking farm team?
Yeah,
or-
you don't have no DH in the National League, so you can't just go and stick one of them
Which
there.
is so stupid. Just put the freaking DH in the NL. What is the point of
I mean,
not doing
nobody wants to see pitchers hit, honestly. Like,
what? There's nothing that it adds. Oh God, is Antonio going to say?
Are you the opposite of us?
No, I just don't really care.
Oh.
If they added the DH,
Sorry.
cool. I think it's nice to still have the difference between the leagues.
Why?
That's not really a good
then
point,
it's like,
but
they go play like for the National League, then their pitcher has to hit, and it's like it becomes a
yeah.
whole.
Do you know
like,
how fun it is seeing
the
CC
only time I
Sabathia hit a
like
home
that
run?
is in the World Series. It's like, all right, then the AL teams are like, whoa, what do we do? And then the NL teams go to the AL stadium, and then they're like, wow, we don't have a hitter. Like the AL team always has the better hitter. So like, yeah, I get that, but whatever.
And then it becomes a.
They
pinch,
make the change, so
it
be
becomes
it.
a pinch
If not,
hit game, and then it's like
continue.
But then at that point too, think about how many more veterans can stick around and play.
Yeah,
and DH.
that's a great point.
yeah. So like, it's only upside.
For sure.
I would love to hear the reasons of.
Oh
why
yeah, no,
they would
I
wanna
agree.
keep
It is only upside. It's just I'm not insanely passionate about it as others may be.
I'm not passionate about it either. I just give my 2 cents and I leave. I really don't know much about baseball. You guys have me trumped there.
Baseball's good, but it's like, all right, let's speed this up.
It's quite
I
a
feel
bit.
like
It is quite a
the
bit to
drama
keep
with
up with.
baseball is like a lot better than I feel like the actual season is.
MLB Hot Stove is great.
Yeah, it's probably the most entertaining of the off seasons.
Just because it's like so long. Like you'll go like
I mean, yeah, it's built up, man.
Yeah.
You get the winter meetings, and everyone
Dude,
freaks
no,
out
winter-
about that.
No, there's like a month between the season and winter meetings, and like a couple days before the winter meetings.
Oh yeah,
everyone's
hot stove
like,
is crazy.
holy crap, stuff's about to go down at the winter meeting.
Oh yeah, and then they have like gossip, and they're like, "Oh well, this manager was talking to this owner was talking to him."
They love mystery teams. They'll be like,
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
the 3 mystery teams that we have in on Mookie Betts here.
Dude, it's like, what are they?
One of
talking
them
about?
is said to be the Angels, but we're not sure.
They love that.
And I remember like just watching MLB Network like all week during the winter meetings, and they have like they got the whole panel down there at like whatever hotel that they have.
Because I was on the whole thing, they were like, "Well, we have to keep either JD Martinez or Mookie Betts, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna cut salary by 20%." And it's like, wow, like.
I love how the Red Sox play poor, but they like raise ticket prices and like they literally own
It's
Liverpool.
such a scam.
They're like,
dude,
I don't know.
honestly.
We're the 3rd richest team in the league.
Yeah, I know. Literally, like they make so much money and then they want to
They
like
really like
cry
act
poor.
like
They're on the Yankees and Dodgers level now when it comes to how much money you have.
they're so cheap though. Like,
Well,
they're so cheap with their money.
I feel like they're scared now because when they did just throw their money everywhere, it
didn't
got
work.
bad. It got really
Yeah.
bad.
But now, just like trading your franchise away, it's like, well, okay, what are you gonna do now?
Rebuild, which is what they love to do.
It's like, okay, you're gonna spend like 3 years rebuilding, and it's like,
Now you think that
We
the Red
coulda-
no,
like, they
then like
could-
the Red Sox are in the World Series next year.
Yeah,
just
I
for
don't
no
know, dude.
reason.
It took the
They're
Yankees.
weird. They're so weird.
It took
but
the
it takes
Yankees
some-
3
it takes
months to
something
rebuild
happen
in
order
2016.
for that, like, to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on
Like through that whole time, like they still had Dustin Pedroia, they still had David Ortiz, like they still had like all these players that are difference makers. They don't really have
Your
that.
next Red Sox manager, Dustin Pedroia. That would be something.
I mean, I think he'd be pretty good at it. I mean, he's been sitting around playing manager for the past few years.
If he retires this year, or like at the end of this year, and then the interim tag gets, or like the interim like coach is done.
Is that because he has 1 year left?
I think so.
either that or he comes in as some like
Because his knees are fucked up. Right?
yeah,
He
he
always
could be
gets
a part
hurt.
of the coaching staff for like a year or two and then say, hey,
It was
make the
that
move
dirty
up.
play right by
The Orioles player.
Machado, right?
No, it was someone else. I think it could have
No,
been
I
Machado.
think it was Manny Machado.
Was it?
Yeah, and he slid in like stick this, and he hasn't been the same like since then. His knees have just been.
Poor Dustin.
Yeah, and I feel bad because he's just been so good for so long, and he's been such a pillar on that team, and now he's really not.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be up to Andrew Benintendi now. I feel like
Him and
him and
Who's a
JD.
very good player.
And Xander. I mean, Devers had a good years, and I don't expect him to put up the same numbers. But if you can be like 85,
I think
Oh,
it's
I've said many times that if the Red
is
Sox,
Jackie Bradley out of there.
we need to get him out of there, but he's still there.
I said many times with Devers and Bogarts, if that team was in the playoffs, they easily would have been MVP contenders.
So
They had ridiculous
It
years.
all just comes down to their pitching.
This is obvious, but like when you watch Jackie Bradley the next time, there is not a quicker hitter in the MLB that gets 2 strikes. He looks at the first one, he swings at the second one. It is 0-2 every time. I watch I've watched at least 400 Jackie Bradley at bats, and 375 of them have started off like that.
Dude, when he came up, he was the worst hitter.
He
ever.
still is the worst hitter.
He was, yeah, but then he was like good for like 2
that's
months.
why he
Everyone was like,
consistently bats
hitting
from-
streak, hitting streak, and then right back down.
That's why he consistently bats at the bottom of the lineup.
There's no, I mean, that's the place for it. If there was no spot for him to bat and just play the field, I would love that.
It's like that's his defense is like just
Designated fielder.
It's so incredible.
There will still be no worse hitter.
Designated fielder.
They added designated fielder.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great for a lot of people, especially with the Yankees.
That would be crazy.
With the Yankees, I'd love if
feel
I
like
had
people,
Tyler
I feel
Wade
like
at second
old
base and not
baseball
him
heads
hitting.
would be pissed about that though.
Well, if you have a designated hitter, like a designated fielder,
But
wow,
like,
that's kind of an outside the box idea.
I mean, it's just like it's one of those things where you're adding something completely new, and like it's like when you do something new. Like old people hate change, and I feel like it's the same thing with the MLB. Like they're so slow to change things, whereas if you just threw that in there, just a complete change, different like aspect of the game, people would hate it.
You know who was a starter for way too long in the MLB? Steven Drew. What was the point in having him in your lineup?
He would just bat 200 and have 6 home runs.
Not even 200. Like it would just be like a
He was JD's brother.
160 something, hit 18 home runs. Was his defense that incredible?
I mean, he played
Ask
good,
yourself.
He,
He played good defense, but come on,
He
you're
was
telling
JD's brother. That's the only answer I have.
when he was on the Yankees, dude, I was getting so pissed because he would just get out literally every single time and bat 160 something, and it's like, come on, you don't have a guy that can play maybe as close to his good defense and bat 250.
The Red Sox love.
Come on.
No, the Red Sox love players like that because then in like the ALCS, they'll hit a home run and everyone's like, wow.
Oh, they become like the hero for one game, and everyone's like, "That's why we got him."
I don't want to be put through watching players like that. It's like Tyler Wade when he got brought up with the Yankees this year. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Steven
That
Drew
was like
again.
Jackie Bradley when he hit
Literally.
that grand slam.
Yo,
What game was that?
game 4 or 5?
Was it the ALCS?
Yeah, against Houston.
And it's like that moment, like turned everyone. They're like, "Oh, Jackie Bradley,
Yo.
dude! Like that one grand slam. You remember that grand slam?"
They
And
kind of
everyone's like,
took it to Houston, honestly, and if they were cheating there too.
Oh,
well, I
that
guess-
year that they won the World Series, they were. It was just Red Sox all the way.
Yeah.
There was never
Oh, yeah,
any
they
doubt
hammered
that the
Houston.
Red Sox were gonna win that.
So yeah.
Oh, I
literally
still-
sometimes it's
After
just
they
your
got by
year.
the Yankees, it was over.
I mean, I still thought Houston was easily the best team in baseball that year. I would have been surprised if the
and then they
Yankees
just
got by
took
them.
it to them.
If the Yankees got by the Red Sox, which again probably wouldn't have happened because the Yankees were a terrible hitting team that year. They hit home runs. That was it.
That's
they
what
weren't.
they do every year, though.
Yeah, but not so much to an extent of last year. That was probably the worst 100 win team. Not this past year, but in 2018 when they were the wild card team. Probably the worst 100 win team I've ever seen in my life. I swear I watched more losses that year than I did wins, and it was so frustrating to watch. But still, the Astros, I don't know how the Red Sox still.
Sorry to cut you off there, buddy. I want to hear your thoughts on the XFL because me and Mr.
Yeah, I
Fiore
really didn't watch any of it.
Oh yeah, so I'll fill you guys.
I'm a
in.
Roughnecks
So,
fan. That's all I gotta say.
couple stats here, just to like because I'm a stat guy. Before the kickoff on Saturday, which I think was a 3:00 game, if I'm not mistaken, they had reached a point where they sold more tickets than the AAF did their entire season.
Wow.
So before the kickoff on Saturday, so they were still selling tickets after that. At that point,
That's pretty good.
I think Saturday's game reached 3 million people were watching, and I think 4 million people were watching on Sunday, which are really good. Not like
They got better overall ratings than the NBA did.
I'm pretty sure they said that was as many people as watched the NBA finals. I think is what they said.
Wow. I
It
did hear
was
that
like-
it was
there
the highest
something-
rated of the
I forget-
weekend.
I forget what it was, but it was something like of that stature, and I was like, wow, like that's really good. And so the game, I mean, I watched one game on Saturday, I watched part of a game on Sunday. They were exciting games, and I think the rules that they've added have just mixed things up enough where people are interested in it.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
I've
think
heard it was very fun to watch.
it was very fun to watch. You have the whole thing with the extra point being you either get 1 from the 2 points from the 5, or 3 points from the 10.
They tweeted out 17 points is only a 2-score game at one point when it was like a 17-point game.
And
So
that's what I'm saying. And
that's pretty cool.
the whole thing with the kickoff where they can't they're 5 yards apart from each other. The defense can't start running, or the kickoff team can't start running until the player fields it. So you're asking for more returns, deeper returns. If it goes out on a kickoff, normally it would go to the 40 of your own side of the ball. Instead, it goes to the 30 or the 45 of the opposite team's field. So automatically you get an advantage there.
Yep.
If you punt it and it's a touchback, it goes to the 35, I believe.
Did you see that punt, that beautiful punt by Marquette King?
Yes.
I saw the highlight of that. So Marquette King punted it all the way down the 1 yard line, and some dumbass comes running in and just falls on top of it and knocks it into the end.
I didn't know he was in the XFL. Now I'm intrigued.
He thought, well, what team does he play for?
It was whatever the first game was.
It was that blue team. I forget what.
Who did DC play the first game?
I thought they played a green team.
The Vipers? No, that was the Vipers.
Oh, no. What did they play? Dallas Renegades, I think? That's a blue team.
It might be Dallas Renegades.
DC played Dallas?
No, they didn't.
DC
no,
played Houston.
Dallas played after.
I'm pretty sure whoever DC played for.
DC did not play Houston because Houston played after on Sunday.
Just look up who Marquette King plays for.
No, I'll just look up the scores because I'll know immediately. Let me see.
Something that me and Nolan were kind of talking about before, though.
The Dragons?
Yeah, I think
Could
so.
be. But we were saying how obviously we're going to see kind of, from time to time, very sloppy quarterback play.
Honestly, though, on the games on Saturday was way better. There was way better quarterback play.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be quarterbacks that are good enough. But
the
then
highlights of Cardale Jones were pretty good.
They were really good.
Yeah, I'm not saying like these quarterbacks are bad or anything, but there are the ones that aren't good enough. You're going to be able to tell, and it's rough.
For the Vipers, I forget what his name is, but he was awful. And I think, like, obviously it'll get better as the year goes on. Honestly, he's probably just rattled right now at the fact that he's playing at this stage. You know what I mean? But like,
I don't think it'll be worse than the AAF quarterback.
No, the AAF was doomed from the start. But at least the XFL has the WWE behind it, so they have a funding source that is able to put up money initially to, like, you know, kind of take that hit if it doesn't work.
Yeah, because I think eventually with the AAF, didn't the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes end up like giving the AAF a bunch of money to try and, you know, keep it going?
Yeah, and then they had to disband after like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But the WWE was able to come in, and I think Vince McMahon really put the money forward for it to, because they started it in the 90s or early 2000s, and it like worked, but then they ended up having to stop it. I forget why they had to stop it, but it worked then, and then it came back. So then you have the old WWE heads who are already fans of WWE, or like,
who will watch the XFL.
Will watch the XFL.
McMahon.
Oh yeah, no,
Then you have the football fans who, like I said last week, it's so smart of them to start it right now, right after NFL ends.
Well, the real smart thing to do is the gambling, because if you have like the whole gambling a part of the broadcast and the over under there and all that stuff, that makes you more intrigued on the game. Like, you're gonna want to gamble.
Yeah, and they've already said that they're gonna start implementing that. And I think, well, it's because Vince McMahon has like a stake in something in Vegas. So like he's all for like getting the gambling out there, because obviously gambling is you know, legal in the U.S. Sports betting is, at least they lifted the federal ban. It's getting legalized in different states, you know, every day. It's eventually going to be all over. So I think them getting ahead of the curve is very smart, because it adds a whole new aspect. Like, if that ends up working out and they had a home run with that, they might force the NFL to change theirs and them start including that in their broadcast. So I think they had the spreads up, they had the total, and they were talking about it, you know, throughout the game. They're like, oh, well, the over is this. It might hit that. And I was like, wow, like, that's so different.
Where you would never hear that in like an NBC broadcast. They would never even even mention that.
I think like them just having, you know, they have the TV networks behind it, they have the money behind it. You know, the players are like, they're getting paid way more than what they would in the AAF. I think they get paid like, what said Antonio? They get paid like $2,000 a week, and then a $2,000 bonus if they win, and then plus their health insurance is covered under the league. The coaches get paid like, I think, close to $500,000, so $500,000. So I mean, it's set up to succeed, and I think that, judging by the numbers in the opening weekend, it's been, I think it's a success so far. We'll just see how it carries out.
I hope it works out.
I think the whole 8-team thing is going to hold it back a little bit.
You can't go too.
They're having a bracket style for the playoffs, which may work. I know it's different than what people are used to. They said that the championship game is April 12th, and they haven't said where it is yet or when it is or like what time. But I mean, if it ends up working out, like we could be seeing like Super Bowl standard type, broadcasts here, and it could be just a whole different aspect. I think I saw today too, someone had a wild idea where the last place team and the winner of the XFL would play. The winner would move up to the NFL, and the loser would go down to the XFL.
Oh, like a relegation type thing.
I absolutely
like an EPL type thing.
Because some teams literally need a kick in the ass to not suck.
Honestly, like that's what I was thinking. I was like,
yeah, like
wow, this could change everything.
Do they get a pick? Do they get a pick in the draft? That would be the only thing.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of complicates it. But it's
because then like you get put up to you get promoted to the NFL and you get the first round pick, like the first overall pick.
Well, then that's interesting.
Because that's what it would be. Because it'd be the last place team. It'd be the last place team.
Does the last place team get the 33rd pick? That's what it should be.
What do you mean?
Or they should have the last pick. So it should have 1 through 32, and then the team that got relegated should have the last pick of the first round. It should be a 33rd pick.
They'd have some. If they were to consider that, they'd have a lot of figuring out to do when it comes to the draft.
Oh yeah, I don't think
it would definitely be cool because it's like don't suck and try to lose games because then you're not going to be a part of this league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then if you're literally the worst team in the league, it's like, aw.
I mean, I think like if the XFL ends up panning out and they have it for
Which I think it
for
can.
50 years, I think like if it gets to the point where it's level with the NFL, why not try it? Like
the biggest difference by far with the AAF is the fact that you got WWE right there. Because I've, like, for example, XFL. For example, it's like, there's guys that I work with don't pay attention to NFL at all, but they're huge wrestling fans. And
so they'll pay attention to the
yeah,
XFL.
and then I saw one of them come to work with like a Vipers hat on, and I'm like, oh.
It's a whole new market.
And they're starting to talk about XFL and stuff, saying how they're going to follow it. So they're bringing a whole new audience to, a lot of people that may not have been football fans before, and they're going to start watching this because it's still a product of the brand that they love, and that can be huge in keeping them in business.
Yeah, and I know that the XFL like is really big on players not being able to leave and go to the NFL or like the CFL or anything like that. I know they wanted to include it, I think, in their contracts, like as a stipulation, but I don't think that ended up working. So, I mean, obviously, in the earlier years when they don't have a lot of money, if a player ends up, being a breakout player, if they go out and try out for the NFL. I saw another thing, too, where the representatives from the XFL talked to the representatives of Colin Kaepernick to see if he would want to play, but the money obviously isn't right.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
Kaepernick wants way too much money.
He doesn't want to make $500,000 like he's used to making.
But like he's already making that with Nike, so I don't understand like his whole thing.
If you want to play football that bad, then
I don't know.
No, you got that right there.
And I mean, like Antonio Brown, do I dare say? I mean,
if he went out there and played, that would be pretty cool. He would wreck everybody.
Yeah, he'd put like some stupid nickname on the back of his jersey.
Nah, but he would have like 400 yards a game if his quarterback did it to him. But yeah.
Yeah, no,
he might. There were some good quarterbacks. I mean, I was watching.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get paired with the right one in the XFL, that might be all he talks about is how bad the quarterback is.
And another thing too that they incorporate is that's different from the NFL is they do live interviews during the game.
Yeah.
With the coaches, they either go from the booth to the headset, or there's the guy on the field, which is like Pat McAfee's sort of job, and then they have the other guy from on Fox or whatever, and they interview right on the field. Like after the series is over, they'll go interview the quarterback right on the field, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
they have.
I like that. It's going to make for some pretty interesting moments too.
Yeah, you can listen in and hear the play being called, which I think is different. I think that opens up a whole nother aspect, and it's like. I kind of got thinking like, okay, does the other team like watch that? And like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess they just don't really give a fuck.
AJ Hinch is sitting on the sideline with like a ski mask.
He's like, XFL, I got you. He's like, Vipers, I got you.
They're just banging on the trash can.
Yep. Oh, and when they look at like if there's a play under review, they listen in to what the refs are saying, And then the guy up in the booth, that you see, he has like an Xbox controller.
I did see that too.
Like controlling all the replays and everything. That was sick.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I didn't think I was skeptical about it, but when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
I got all day to watch it Saturday, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, they have
no work Saturday, so
I have good news for you guys. There is Champions League football on Tuesday.
Really?
PSG.
The quarterfinals they're starting?
The round of 16, yeah.
Round of 16, whatever.
Hell yeah.
PSG and Borussia, and then Liverpool and Atleti.
God, I hope Dortmund can beat PSG.
I love PSG.
That is Tuesday.
Fuck PSG.
Nah, Neymar and
I do.
Mbappe.
I like both of them. It's just
Wow, Liverpool
PSG.
and Atletico.
Come on.
I love the over in that game.
Wait, so what's the matchup? That's Atletico and who?
Liverpool.
Oh.
Yeah. Dortmund, PSG. Those are two really good matchups. And then Wednesday we have Atalanta, which is the Serie A team, versus
They've been playing good.
Valencia. And then,
And
we
then
have
Leipzig.
Leipzig versus Tottenham, which
Leipzig is winning that game.
Leipzig is the sleeper pick. So
That'd be such a Tottenham thing to do. Lose to them.
Oh, and then the week after we have Chelsea and Bayern and Napoli and Barca.
Oh
And-
my God,
wow.
Napoli's beating Barca.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No.
Why? What makes you say that?
Barcelona doesn't
Because
lose
Napoli,
those stupid games
Napoli
until
is
like
one
2
of those
rounds in.
teams that will suck all year and then go into a tournament and just start
They might pull out a 1-0 win in the first leg. I think that, but I think Barca creams them.
Napoli goes through.
I don't think they'll cream them.
That is
Napoli's been a pretty good team for the
if you
for
want
like
to talk
3 or 4
if you
years
want to
now,
talk about our one pick, that's my one pick. I don't care
Is
how
Napoli
far.
winning that game outright?
Is Napoli going through into the next round of the Champions League?
Wild.
I mean, man, because like obviously we talk about rigged sports all the time. Champions League might be the most rigged thing.
Oh, definitely. But at the same time,
More than the NBA.
but
I
at
would
the
say-
same
I would
time, are they
argue.
trying to create a storyline for Messi to leave? Go back to Pep in Man City. Go back to some like I don't even know, but like
I don't know, man.
him and the president were having problems this year. Like the president said, like the players got to do their job, and then Messi's like, I don't know why the president is saying anything. Like he's got to get us players, so like you better shut up, basically.
But isn't there like all that spec that Neymar is going back to Barca too?
No,
that's been
not
a thing
happening.
for a long time.
It's
Event.
he's more likely to go to Real Madrid than Barca, I think. Like
Which I don't like
Barca-
Madrid, but I like Madrid a lot more than PSG.
he's been linked to Barca like 2 separate transfer windows, and they never came to a deal. So like I don't know why it would work out this transfer window.
Probably because like he wanted so much money.
Well, yeah, and like PSG isn't just gonna like give him up for
Oh yeah, for like nothing.
Griezmann and some like 50 million or something. Like that's basically what they were offering.
Yeah, they still do have Griezmann, huh?
Who got hurt?
And then
Griezmann got hurt.
and then
Suarez
they-
got. So this is the thing.
and then Messi did not want him there.
No, but Griezmann got hurt and Suarez got hurt. So now they have no striker. So now it's literally just Messi up top. Dembele got hurt. Like they literally have no one.
Damn. Oh, didn't they say
They're able to sign someone as like an emergency player
Mbappe?
to Barca.
I think I saw that the other day. That
I
was
could
a
see
rumor.
that. He wants to. I heard
Every good player is linked to Barca.
Well, no, I heard he wants to go to Real because he's a Ronaldo fan supposedly. So
I can easily see him more in a
but it's
Madrid
like,
uniform than I
okay,
can a
you're a
Barcelona
Ronaldo
one.
fan, so you go play for his old team. It's like,
He's looked up to him his whole like childhood, I guess.
and
so.
I'm always excited when the Champions League comes around to see Ronaldo play because I feel like when the
Oh
Serie
my
A
God,
play,
he just turns. No, he turns.
Yeah,
up.
when
it's
the
really
Serie
something
A
else
is
to
going
watch.
on, it's like he scores here and there, and I feel like most of the time he like doesn't play. He's like Kawhi, like once the
He has a
fucking
10
When
He has a
he
10
gets on international television, that's when you want to watch.
He
it.
is a
that's
10
that's something else.
10-game goal streak in Serie A right now.
well, I mean, we're talking B squad here, like
We're talking.
We're talking Ronaldo,
yeah,
and
Ronaldo.
this is coming
I
from
expect
someone
him-
who, no doubt, and I
Honestly,
think
that's
far
kinda-
away
that's
Messi's
kinda
way
low
better,
for him,
but
to
still,
be
Ronaldo's
honest.
still easily one of the best.
That's still.
I would
impressive.
expect it to be way more.
That's crazy talk.
I mean,
In 10, you're expecting to be way more than 10. You think he's just going to score every game?
we're talking
in
about
the-
Cristiano Ronaldo
In the
here.
toughest defensive league in the world?
Okay, so we've seen him go up against like plenty good defenses before and just absolutely
Yeah, but
So then, what do you expect
this
from
is
Messi?
the
A goal and a half
Italian
a
league's
game?
different.
yeah.
like-
Like
don't know.
Messi and Ronaldo are just like they're up here. Like they are just so far above anyone else.
I mean, yes,
with their
definitely.
goal scoring ability, defense does not matter at that point. It's just how many do they want to score?
I don't know. It's just saying.
When are they going to score them?
Just saying that scoring more than 10 straight games, that's kind of insane.
I mean, I'm sure he's had bigger stretches in his career.
I'm sure he is too, but also against a lot weaker competition. Again, with the Spanish league, it's so.
I mean,
it's so top
you're
heavy.
forgetting what he did at Manchester United, which
Obviously, well, that's like Ronaldo in his prime, where he's like peak physical
like
position.
when he was our age, like he was incredible. But I'm just saying, like.
But now, I mean, still,
someone at Ronaldo's level, I hold him to a higher level.
It is insanely. It's
how many
very
goals does he
difficult to
have
do
this
that for
season?
10 in a row, especially in the Italian league.
Probably 25.
It's hard to
or 30.
keep up with the Serie A because I know that they've tried to put it on TV.
They're doing better on ESPN Plus. They have a lot of Serie A games.
They were putting it on what channel were they putting Serie A on? Was it TNT? One of the channels they were like
maybe
ESPN 2.
No,
TNT has the Champions
Every
League
once
deal
in a
with,
while, I feel like you scroll
Bleacher
through the
Report.
guide and you're like, oh, there's soccer on this random station.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Champions League they have the whole deal with TNT and they
Yeah.
have Bleacher Report as one of the sponsors or whatever it is, whatever sort of deal they struck there. I don't know what that's about, or why Bleacher Report is involved.
We kind of glossed over it. Chelsea and Bayern.
Byron.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's going to end up being a very good game.
I think Chelsea squeaks by.
This is a Bayern year. Dude.
I'm on Chelsea too.
Nah, this is just a Bayern year. Like Bayern hasn't been good in a while. Like I'm not gonna say
No,
they're
they
gonna
haven't.
win it. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win it, but they'll just like the Final Four. They love that.
You know what I just thought
I
about,
like
too?
both the
You know
teams.
what I just thought about?
I love Lewandowski.
Well,
I'd like to see him go far.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Pretty sure I said Napoli was like my sleeper pick.
Really?
Yeah, you probably did.
So I might have just switched up my energy
Well,
there.
I don't know. Maybe if
I don't remember though. I'd have to go back and check.
Did they not have the draw at that point? Maybe you're just spitballing saying Napoli's,
No, they had the draw because we were looking at the matchups.
and you were saying they were gonna beat Barcelona then.
Honestly, I might have. So I might have just switched up my energy there.
I think I remember you saying that.
That's hilarious.
now that you bring it up.
Hey, you feel what you feel. You're giving your opinion.
I mean, I always just go from what I feel at this moment. And like obviously that was like a couple weeks ago, and like we've seen Barca play and we've seen their matchups and everything. So it's like I don't know. But Napoli's pretty good.
Napoli is very good.
I don't know. I think
Do we have a pick for who we
it gets
think?
to a point. You know what the difference is that I think with these teams is. Do they know how good they actually are? Are they going to go up against Barca and park the bus? Because it's never gonna work if you just park the bus against Barca.
I don't think so.
Barca's one of those teams where if you have a good team, like Napoli has a solid roster, if they just go up and go head on with them, like we're not sitting back, we're going attack mode on you. Like Barca might fall back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Napoli might squeak out the first leg, but I don't think that they go past Barca, and that's my final answer.
Do we have a pick for who wins it?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
I think it's Juve.
God, I hope so.
Who do you think?
Because that's who I want to
I'm
win.
obviously going to pick Juventus. It's my team. Can they finally win it this year, please? Like we have Ronaldo. What else? What else do we need?
This is the year.
It has to be the year. I thought last year was the year, but no.
No, last year
Maybe
was a total that shit went out the window.
We got Buffon back. Maybe
That's what I'm saying. That's
God,
why
no.
I want them to win. He might not even play a game.
he really might not, but when he touches that trophy, it's gonna feel so good.
Yeah, I will be rock hard.
If they don't win, I
would probably be bawling my eyes out if Buffon won.
It would be what I felt when I saw Ovechkin touch the Stanley Cup, but 10 times more.
Yeah.
Because Buffon's the reason why I love soccer in the first place.
It's lame to say, but like, how does Liverpool not win it?
Yeah,
it's Liverpool's to lose, but
if Juventus doesn't win, I hope
Like if
Barcelona
they have
goes
all
and
right,
wins.
bro. If
'Cause it'll be
if Liverpool goes undefeated, wins the FA Cup, and wins the Champions League, that is the most dominant soccer team.
yeah, Jurgen Klopp.
all
Jurgen
time.
Klopp as the biggest cock at that point.
The players on that team are just ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
though.
they're shitting on everyone, and it's not competitive at all.
And I mean, if
They control the whole game.
Like
There's not a point
It's
in any Liverpool
really
game where
incredible.
it's remotely close.
Obviously, I haven't. I've
And
only
we
been watching
forget
soccer
last
for
year
about
that Mo
5 years,
Salah
but I've
got
never
hurt.
seen anything like that.
Yeah.
We forget last year that Mo Salah got hurt, and if Mo Salah doesn't get hurt, where do they go at that point?
I don't know, because then Origi doesn't play, and then maybe their lineup changes. That's interesting.
So, I mean, we forget about that whole shakeup last year, but it's like
Stuff happens for a reason, though.
it's Liverpool's to lose, but like you look at last year's whole Champions League, it was wild and wide open. So, I mean, it's Liverpool's to lose, but I think Juve wins.
The smart pick definitely would be Liverpool, and I'm definitely going to say Liverpool. If you want like a dark horse, kind of like really outside the box, I would say.
What are you going to say, Bayern?
Leipzig.
Oh.
I really
Like
think
ultimate sleeper.
ultimate sleeper. Like
They're probably like plus 6,000 right now.
There's probably something crazy, but I could see them making a deep run like that.
Like a semifinal. I
don't know that they could win, but like if they can get to a final, I wouldn't be surprised. Like their attack is that good. They just score goals left and right.
Yeah, no, I'm excited that Champions League is back, and I'm so excited for the Euros this summer.
Oh yeah, no,
I know we've talked about it, but it's like
anytime one of those international tournaments comes around,
you only get this so many times.
I know,
and I'm
that's
so sick
whenever
and
that comes
tired
around,
of it.
that's all I do. It's just glued to my TV watching Euros World Cup.
It's like
Copa
it's
America.
the same
Oh,
excitement
so
with
good.
the World Cup, but like it's like you just know it's not the World Cup, and then when the World Cup comes around, you're like, yeah.
I mean,
And
even
if
still,
they expand it to
people get damn into the Euros. Like I still watch
yeah,
that
for
religiously.
sure,
Like
because
I'll
it's
watch
still-
the World Cup.
I mean,
Second biggest tournament.
Yeah.
You hate to say it, but it's like it's the top teams, like minus all the shitty teams. Like
Other
you
than
look
like Brazil.
Yeah, other
you
than the
look at, like,
South American powers,
teams,
that's
like Mexico, U.S. never does anything, but it's like
Brazil, Chile, Argentina.
all of those South American teams, and it's like they're good, but they really can't stack up.
But it's
to, like,
really
the
only
European
those
teams.
three when you talk South America, though. Brazil, Chile, Argentina. The rest of them, maybe another one squeaks in, but they're not going to do anything. When we're talking World Cup.
Yeah, and you have Venezuela sometimes that sometimes has a decent team, but
And
it's
then
like
Copa America. What's the Final Four every single time? United States, Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina.
see, and that just shows you the South. Like if the U.S. can compete and like almost win Copa America, that shows you the competition that is the South American teams, and they just can't. They cannot stack up to the European teams. Never.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. That's why I think the Euros is like it's a concise World Cup. It's like, okay,
those teams are just so much. They're so much more well coached. I feel like down there they look at their team and they're like, look at all this talent I have. Go run.
That's true. They're not well coached. That's a good point. Are we done here, gentlemen?
I
I think that's a good place to end it off. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we spent a while on baseball too. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys spent a lot on baseball.
You still enjoy baseball. It's not like you don't.
No, I don't enjoy.
You're not you're not the like day-to-day grinder that me and Antonio are.
No, I don't go deep into baseball. I like watch it from afar. And
I
pay
still
attention, but
I still can understand people thinking it's boring.
Oh
but-
yeah, and I do too.
Yeah,
it's
I
just something that if you've grown up with it, then you obviously.
Oh
love
God,
it.
parents love baseball.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like dads
and
white dads love baseball.
dads and grandpas love baseball.
Yeah, grandpas love baseball because like that's America's sport.
I have no proof to
to
dispute
them.
that.
All right, guys.
All right, I will always be a hockey guy,
Always.
and I am counting
Oh, yeah, I love
down
me
the
some
days to
hockey.
the NHL playoffs, dude.
30.
We want to talk about the World Cup? That's the World Cup for me, and it comes every year, bitch. So
Not too far.
I need it in my veins. All right, we're ending it off. What are you gonna say? Say it.
Nothing.
Adios.
Adios.
Have a good night.